this up. Aloha, this is ITS128, first video of the spring 2021 semester. And let me get rid of all this stuff here. Let me share my screen here. I'm recording, share my screen, share. Screen 3. Okay, so this is ITS128's first video of the semester, and so today I'd just like to go over some of the, bookkeeping, administrative stuff for the course, and I'll start a little bit with the textbook. But I guess first of all, I just want to put your mind at ease about any of these kind of stresses or anything that that can happen in these beginning classes. I want to try to relieve any of that. So let's just go through this here. So first of all, oh, I didn't put that link there. I'd like to have these video sessions every week, okay? And in this class, 128, I'm going to probably have them more often than in my other classes. And so I'd like you to go back to this whenisgood.richalverson.com and log in, and you'll see that I've changed the dates. And I think this is going to probably happen every week, where I adjust the dates a little bit. And so every Sunday or Saturday or sometime in the weekend, I'll send out the schedule for the week. And then at that time, sometime during the week, you should click. And if your schedule updates, you can update it. And if my schedule updates, I will update the slots. If you mark off a slot that doesn't appear the next week, your marking is still there. It's just that it's not appearing because I might have adjusted some of these. You'll notice that for next week, I've made these things 10:30, 11:30, 12:30 as opposed to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I started at 11 o'clock, I think, last time. But what I do is, then is on Sunday or Saturday or whatever, Sunday morning, I have this screen here, which where I see how many people signed up. Let's see. So, like for example, I'm teaching. These are all the courses I'm teaching this semester. I'm teaching a lot of courses this semester. It's not usually this many, but for ICS 101, 10 out of 25 have signed up, and these numbers here, 5. These are how many have signed up during those periods. This class is 128, and 23 out of 40 students have signed up, and it goes through and it looks at it tests it looks at all the single periods to see to find the one that where the most people can show up for that. And so for this one, like for example, Tuesday 12 noon, looks like 12 people signed up for that section. If we go to 2 periods per week, I get more people. I get 18 people. If I go to 3 periods per week, I go to 22 people. And there's only one person that's not covered. And then if I actually go to 4 weeks per week, 4 periods per week, then if I schedule, and this is the time I chose this time period here, then I get everybody covered. And so for this class, this week, I did that because I don't mind spending a little bit more time with you this week. And so this week we're going to meet. I'm going to meet with you. I'm going to hold this class at this time, and then on Wednesday at 3:30, and then on Thursday at 11 a.m. and Friday at 1:30. Of course, not all of you can attend all of those, but I believe that all of you can attend at least one of those, but they're being recorded. And then after the class is over, then I'm going to post the recording up on YouTube and put a link to it from the website, and you'll be able to watch the recording later. All right, so so if you could go back and sign that, and in fact, what I would, in fact, I think I'm going to do this right now, where I edit this, and I want to put, I have it here on this one. Let's see, does this work? So when I click here, no, it's not, doesn't work. Okay, edit again. Is this? So if anybody has a question, I've opened up my chat window. You can post something in there. All right, so on the syllabus now, I have a link. Let me add and publish. Click the wrong link up here. And now when you click on here, it should take you to this. Okay, so so go in and fill this out again, and you should try to keep it up to date every week. Some of you have checked off these times. They're still in there, and when I may switch back to those, but I'm going to see how these work for a while. The next couple Mondays I'm full the whole day, so that's why I don't have any time there. And I may open up if there's enough of a demand, or if enough people ask me, I can open up some slots on Saturday or later in the evening. All right, so so the textbook is this Zybooks, and you subscribe to it by going to learn.zybooks.com, typing in this code, and Zybook looks like this. Let me go back to here. It's this one here. It looks like this. And so these are all the chapters, and I'll go through this in a moment. But let's go through the syllabus first. So you're going to learn how to program, and programming you're going to learn how to write programs, and writing programs doesn't necessarily mean a particular language. Once you learn how to program, you really are learning a skill that can be used for with any programming language, or any language that they call a programming language. And what is different is like the syntax of the language. Sometimes when you want to attach two words together, you might use a plus sign, or in other languages you might use a period. You might use an ampersand. Just those kinds of things, those syntax things. But the things that are common are like how you do loops, how you do conditional statements, how you do if something, then something. Those constructs, as they're called, are common in all programming languages. And so it turns out that Python is a really good language to learn programming, because you do spend a lot more time learning about programming, and not about syntax, not about we used to teach C# as the programming language in this class, and you spend the first 5 weeks learning Visual Studio. I mean, it's first you have to learn the programming, the application. It's like we're going to learn how to make we're going to learn how to make income statements. First, we have to learn Excel, though. So we spend 5 weeks learning Excel, and then we can start getting into income statements. And so that's Python. You'll see we start writing code. One great thing about Python is that the interpreter, or the thing that executes the Python program, that can reside in the browser. It's such an easy language to write a compiler for, to write an interpreter for, that when we write a lot of our code, when we do a lot of our assignments, we're just going to be typing something into the browser and clicking a browser button, and it's going to tell us whether our program works. And it's also real easy to install Python on your computer, whatever kind of computer you, Mac or a PC or Windows machine. And so I'm going to do a lot of that. I'm going to do a lot of, I'm going to open up a command, DOS command prompt like this, and I'm going to, type some programs in, and type some Python programs in, and I'm going to execute them, and we're going to see how they run, and so on. And then when we get it to run on my computer locally, then we can actually take our code and submit it to the textbook to see if we got all the points or not. So we're learning Python. We're starting with chapter 1, and the titles of these chapters can be the same titles for chapters for any programming language. First, we learn about variables and expressions, and then we learn about the different data types. An integer is different than a word. We learn about branching. We learn about loops. We learn about functions and strings. You see, these are all names that you will find in any programming languages, classes, exceptions, and so on. But the language that we're actually going to be using, look, there's no Python specific thing here at all. Although lists has a different meaning in different programming languages. In some programming languages, they're called arrays, and in other programming languages, a list is a little bit different than a list in Python. But other than that, it's common. These concepts are common in all programming languages. Now, in this textbook, we have there's 3 different kinds of things that you can get points for. You can get points for doing these participation activities, and for those, it's just doing them. You just do them until you get all the points. Okay. If you get frustrated, you can click on a button twice and it tells you the answer, and you type the answer in and you get all the points. Okay. And then there's these challenge activities. Challenge activities are not as complicated as little programs. You're not really writing little programs. You may be seeing a little program executors. You might see some code, and you have to say what the result of some variable is or something. Little challenge activities. With those, the textbook does not tell you what the answer is if you get frustrated and can't figure out what the answer is, but it gives you as many chances as you need to get the right answer. Also, I just want to tell you that if there's anything that you can't get the answer to, even if it's an assignment and you're frustrated enough, you just email me, and I will give you hints until you get the answer. Okay. So, I want everybody to get that feeling that you get when you finally get the right answer, and you see that the code that you wrote gives the result that you want, and it's the right answer. And the only thing we work on is my giving you fewer hints. And eventually, I hope I don't have to give you any hints. You just sit there and think about it long enough, and you'll be able to get the answer. So, okay, and then there's these lab activities, and those are actually little programs that we're going to write. And and what I'm going to do in class is I'm going to go through the sections of the chapters. I'm going to do some of the participation activities to make sure you know what's going on and make sure you know what they're asking for. Do some challenge activities, and I'm going to do some lab activities. I'm going to try not to do these assignments to their completion. I want to leave some for you, but I want to I want to get you well enough along on these, so you aren't being held up, or you aren't struggling with some misunderstanding of how something is supposed to work, or something is being asked of you. All right, so and if you look down here, this is the breakdown of the points. And so these participation activities, you should be able to get all the points there. You just click around enough, you get all the points. And when you click around, you're clicking on things, and you kind of can't help but learn. And these challenge activities, 20%, and the labs are these little programs. And then there's just this class participation part. And that's basically, the forum. So I'm going to post stuff up there, try to get some communication interaction going on here. And so if I'd like this general discussion to be anything, if you want to post up a question, please do. And then I might start some other topics, or whatever these are called. I might start some other topics. I probably am, but I'm going to check back. This is the first semester I'm doing these forums, and I'm actually going to go in there and look in there and see what you guys are saying, and see if it can help me, connect better, and you guys connect better, and all that. So, all right. So it's 12:18. So let's get going. Let's start out here with first chapter. And you can see what these you can see what Python is all about. So this first chapter just kind of goes along, and there's a presentation mode. I keep forgetting about that. Okay, so the program is a bunch of instructions. The program gets some input, usually from a keyboard or from a file. And then, it executes these instructions and that you write, and there can be loops and stuff, and tests if some value is equal to something, and goes off and does executes some other code and so on. And then it can, you can write data back out to a file or whatever, write it to the screen. There are things called variables, and these are little spots or locations or buckets or locations, I guess you can call them, just to store usually numbers, or it can be strings of characters, in other words, words and sentences, and then we can get into more complex types that we can imagine. It's got different characteristics to it. So this is an example of a participation activity. You just do this, okay? Programs use variables to refer to data like X. Okay, so I like to do double speed because I get impatient. So this is going to show us how a basic program works. First of all, it does this. It executes this. Let's start over again. First thing it does is it gets, okay, so here, so people, so the user is typing in a 2 and then a 5. So this is the program. First it says get an input and store that value in X. So 2, and then it does the next statement, store that value in Y. So Y gets that, and then it says, okay, there's a new variable called Z, and Z is going to equal to X plus Y. So Z will equal 7. And then it says print Z to the screen, and so that appears there. So if we actually run this, it looks like this. You see this box up here is empty. So let's start. Okay, that executes, and the 2 goes over there, and then this thing executes again. Oh, look at that, and a 5. Okay, then I click on it again, and this thing executes, and now 2 plus 7. And then we're going to output it to the screen, and we output it to the screen. And boom, and then look, checkbox up here, got all the points. All right, so here's some other kind of participation activities. Consider the example. The program has 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, check. Oh yeah, 4 instructions. Suppose a new instruction were inserted as follows. Add 1 more to Z, and then I'll put the Z. Well, the last instruction would then output, instead of 7, it would output 8, right? So you put 8. What would the last instruction then output to the screen? 8. Okay, 8. Yes, that's the correct answer. And then consider the instruction Z equals X plus Y. If X is 10 and Y is 20, then Z is assigned something. Okay, so we're supposed to say, what is Z if X is equal to 10 and Y is equal to 20? Well, it's equal to 10 plus 20 is 30. Z would equal 30. But let's say this is too complicated for you. And you say, I think it's 20. No, sorry. I think it's 10. Boy, I'm really an idiot. Show answer. You got to click twice. Oh, it's 30. Oh, that's what it is. And then still not a thing up there. So then I go like this. I go, okay, 30. That's what it is. And now I got it correct, and now I get all the points. So that's participation activities. And you can see that you can probably jam through this pretty fast. And, I taught, I used this exact book last semester. Last semester was the first semester I used this book. And I noticed that there are people that, at the end we add up all the points, and I looked through it, and I noticed there's people that didn't get 100% in their participation activities. And that can affect your grade. If participation activities is 35% of your grade, if you get 100% on all of them, then that's like an A, 35% A already, a top of the top A. And so, but if it's like 80%, if it's only like between 80 and 89%, then that's just a B. That's 35% of B, and that just means you're gonna have to do more. You have to work harder in the challenge exercises and the. In fact, you may so the point is you should do all of the participation exercises. So here, execute this program and observe the output. See, so you get all the points for that. Here's some more. Which instruction completes the program to compute the triangle's area? Get the base, get the height, assign X equals base times height, put which instruction completes the program to compute a triangle's area? So we're supposed to know what the formula is to compute the triangle's area, huh? Well, I think I know what it is, but I'm just going to do it. Formula to compute area of triangle. Base times height. Is that it? Don't you have to like subtract 2 or something? How is this supposed to work? I think it's 1/2 times base times height. Area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. So that would be multiply X by 1/2. So I think it's this one. Yes, it is correct. Does it tell you that anymore? Okay, well, anyway, I guess you gotta. Let me get rid of this. Okay. All right. So which instruction completes the program to compute the average of three numbers? Well, that's just this one. All right, computational thinking. Okay, this is pretty interesting. Okay, so this is you write the program here, and then you click run, and it does these things. Puts a pen down, goes forward to 100 units, goes left to 120 units, goes forward 100 units. Oh, this is just turning. This is going, and this is turning. Yes, 120 angles. Yes, 120 degree angles. All right, yes. Okay, good. So that's that. Got all the points. And okay, programming using Python. Let's find some challenge activities. Match the Python terms with their definitions. All right, thank you. Okay, let's find a challenge activity. This is not a participation one, it looks like, so you don't have to do it. But this is an example program. I guess maybe we should go through this. The below program simulates the race between two cars. If you run it, what does it do? I can't believe this is a pretty complicated program to be showing you here, but track length, width of the output window, that means there's 60 characters across, I guess. Boy, this is really a complicated program for the first day of class. So I'm just going to skip this. Yeah, you don't know what while loops are. This is if, elif. Are we supposed to? Oh, can you make the second car win? Okay. Good point. All right. Car one is the car one top speed and the car one acceleration controls the maximum velocity and acceleration. Modify these variables to run the program again. Can you make the second car win? Okay, so okay, car one is top speed of 60, car two is top speed of 50, car one is acceleration of 11, car two is acceleration of 10. We're supposed to make the second car win. So what happens if I make this? Okay, first of all, let's run this again. Okay, car one wins. So what happens if I increase the acceleration of car two to 15? Okay. Ooh. So you said you just make this bigger. Yeah, you can do that, but I want to see if I can make it by acceleration. Oh, this would make the car two get up to speed faster. No, not yet. I wonder if it'll never get there. Nope. Wow. Maybe it never gets there. I bet you if I go, it gets there now. Yeah. All right. Anyway, yes. Okay. So very interesting. So okay. So what this is a good example of is oftentimes when you start out as a programmer. Well, no, oftentimes as a programmer, uh, after a while, you've seen so much code and you've written so much code that when you're starting to write a new program, it's often helpful if you think of a program that either you've written or code that you've seen that is similar to what you want to write, and then you go get that code and then you just modify it to what you want. And in this case, you are plopped down in a environment or a situation where, okay, Joe, you're a new programmer. We got this old code here, and we got to modify it so the car number 2 runs faster, goes faster, and wins. Okay, I don't know how to do it. No one's looked at that code for years, but you got to do it. Okay, so you're given this code, and you look at it, and all you do, well, you look at it closely enough, just to the point where you can modify it and get it to do what it's supposed to do. You don't need to go in there and figure out what any of this logic actually does. You don't need to go and make sure that, you know, this, you don't need to understand that this is a funny kind of if statement and, you know, all this and that. You just have to modify it enough so it solves the problem that you're given. And I remember when I was starting out as an engineer back in the long time ago, I worked at a company called Control Data. We made disk drives, and whenever they hire a new guy, a new engineer, they're put in an area where they're supposed to test. They test stuff to see if they can break it, to see if they can find flaws in it. And so there, you don't really understand the code that you're testing. I mean, eventually you do, but you know, you just like monkeys in a room, you know, hitting the keyboard. And then also if you become like a sustaining engineer or an engineer where really all you're doing is doing simple upgrades or fixing code that's broken, or some new code revision comes along and some interpreter version changes and some code breaks someplace, and you just have to go in and figure out, you know, the little areas that you have to fix, and then you get the thing running again, and then you move on to something else. So so coding is not all sitting down from scratch and writing your own program, you know, from the beginning. You know, that it's fun when you can do that, or when you are doing that, but usually when you start out and you're learning, you want to learn to be a good coder, you start out by modifying existing code. Anyway, let's keep moving here. I want to try to find a challenge activity and see what that's like. Here's one. Write the simplest statement that prints the following. Note, white space matters. Make sure your white space exactly matches the output. So we're supposed to write something that prints that out? Sure, okay. Print. 3, 2, 1, go. Exclamation point. Okay, so that should do it. Run. And I got it correct. So I got all the points. Blue check mark. Now, another way that I'm going to show you how to write code is I'm going to this writing code in here and save it on my desktop. Okay, for this one, it's do not add spaces after the last character of each line. So what I'm supposed to do is, so this can be a Python program, print quote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then print that, and then that, and then put this here, and then we can save this as a Python program, save as, and I'm gonna name it, I'm gonna save it on my desktop, and I'm gonna call it test.py. And then I have installed, I should show you how to do that. What time is it? 12:38. You should, on your computer, go to python.com. Python.com, is that right? Python.com. Python.com. Or is it python.org? Python download. Python.org. Yes. And I would download it and install it. You can download it on Windows, or you can, if you do this using a Mac, it'll probably let you download it with a Mac. And what I have, okay, so I have this program here, and I've saved it on my desktop. It's like right, where's my test.py? Here it is. That's this. And so then I can go to, let me just, CLS. I go to CD. Well, I just go back to my desktop. When I open up, let me just open this up from nothing. When I open it up, it looks like this. And usually, and I don't know if this is going to be how it is with yours, but I just do a CD desktop, and I'm at the desktop. And I've installed 2 versions of Python. For some reason, I've ended up with 2 versions of Python. So I can do, if I just type Python, that gives me version 2.7.17. And in this class, we're using Python version 3 or greater. There's a few things that are different. Print statements are different. Certain things are different. So if I exit this and instead go to, and I've got Python 3 installed as PY. So this is Python 3.9. So I'm going to use PY, Python 3.9. Let me exit this. And so to run this this program here, which is called test.py on the desktop, I'm going to do py test.py, and it prints out this just like that. Now I'm going to see what happens when I use version 2. Python test.py. It works too. So looks like this program was compatible with both version 2 and version 3 of Python. But anyway, so now that this looks like it's what I want, now I can take this and copy it and go into here and just paste my solution and see what happens. And it should probably work. Yes. Okay, and I got the check mark. So this is how you make it so it does not put a return or skip to the next line. See, So see, if you go like this, you do print halt and then print no access. I don't even know what I'm doing here. If we run this, save, we run it, it says halt and then no access is on the next line. See, so it does this halt and then it does a return. So then where it does no access, it does no access, then it does a return. So that's why there's another blank line there. But if we were to do this comma end equals nothing, in other words, we aren't going to do end equals return, we're going to do end equals nothing, and we save this and we run it. It doesn't work. Why? Because this is not valid in Python version 2. I have to run it in Python version 3, py test.py. Now it works. See, it doesn't put the return at the end. It just goes right to the next one. See, so that's what happens when you do that. If I were to put a space there, and then save it, and then run it using version 3, we see that it then puts a space there. See? So that's what they're teaching you here. So which pair of statements print output on the same line? Well, they both do. This one and this one does too. Oh, that's because this is not putting, it's not putting quotes. No access has got to be in these single quotes. Yeah, it's got to be in single quotes. So this is the right one. All right. Given the variable num cars equals 9, which statement prints 9? Oh, this one here, because this one is just going to print NUM underscore CARS because it's in quotes. This is going to print whatever this variable, with the value of this variable, so that it's this one. Print num equal. Okay, so more participation activities. So here's a challenge. Type the program's output. Remember that print prints an ending new line. So press enter or return on your keyboard to indicate the new line in your answer. All right, so when this is executed, you got to make sure you put this new line here, because otherwise you won't get all the points. I'll show you. Anne is happy. So you can't just do Anne is happy, period. That won't work, see? Boom. There's no new line. So it's going to ask me the same one again, and this time I'm going to put a that. And now when I check it, got one check mark there. What's next? Oh, what's the program's output? Joe is happy, period. Okay. Yes, got that check mark. What's next? Sam is colon space 23. Oh, forgot this, darn it. There we go. There, next. Bob is 24 years. Enter. Ugh. Oh boy. Bob is 18. Ooh, it changed it on me. Years. Period. Enter. All right. Got all the points. Very good. All right, so this, you can print this out and then do that, and then it won't skip to the next line, and then you can ask it and input. So that's pretty easy. Let's do another challenge. Read user input numbers and perform a calculation. Read two numbers from user input. Then print the sum of the two numbers. Copy, paste the following code, then type the code where the question marks are to finish the code. All right, so I've copied this code. I'm gonna put it in here. So I'm gonna copy this code. Copy. And I'm gonna paste. Now, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to print the sum of the two numbers. Okay, so I just do this. Int input, and then num1 plus num2. So that should work. So if we save this and we run it. Okay, right now it's sitting there waiting for my first input. So I'm gonna put 100, that's my first input. Now it's sitting there waiting for my next input, and I'm gonna put 500, and it prints out 100 plus 500. Now, if we take what we learned before, we could do this. Print, excuse me, enter a number, quote, comma, end equals space, oops, no semicolon. And then we can do print, enter another number. Okay, so what does that do now? Enter a number, 45. Enter another number, 67, 112. Okay, that's great. Turns out another way we can do this is we can just do this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Inside here we put enter a number. And then inside here we put enter another number. Okay. The sum is so I can run this now, and I go enter a number, 5. Enter another number, 6. The sum is 11. Okay, anyway, and so what we want to paste in there is not this. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just see what happens when we paste this in there. See, it doesn't like it that you print out all this other stuff. It just doesn't like it. So, okay, all right, sorry. Yeah, all tests pass. Okay, by the way, I before I forget, I did, I don't remember if I gave you this spiel or not. I gave these classes. Okay, so I extended the due date to 124. Some of you were asking me about that because I had it 117, and I'm not that I'm not that picky about these due dates. I'm not gonna take off points if you one day late or any of that kind of stuff. And the reason is because it's all auto graded. Okay, if I had to grade anything by hand, and I don't think I'm going to have to grade anything by hand in this class. In 148 I do, but then it doesn't matter. You need to get them all done. You need to get all these things done. You need to do all the participation activities and challenges and everything. But as long as you get it done by the end of the semester, the last time I download all the grades from Zybooks, which is going to be like in finals week or something. Now, don't put it all off until finals week because you'll never get it done. But if you're a week late, 2 weeks late, whatever, a lot late, it's okay as long as you get it all done by the end. We've got spring break, do jam a lot during spring break. The other thing is that, as we go along, I'm going to be making these videos, and a lot of the stuff I'm going to be able to, you'll be able just to go to the video and follow along and do these things. I'm going to have like most of the labs and so on are going to be, I'll at least started in a video, and some of them I'll actually probably finish. Videos are probably finished. The other thing you can do is you can search my YouTube channel. See, do I have a YouTube channel around here? Let's see if I go here and go here and go here. Okay, here's my YouTube channel, and this is 128. So I've done a lot of these videos already. In fact, another thing I'll do for you. So there's a bunch of 128 videos here. Well, you can search for them and find them. The other thing I'll do is, see, it's 5 minutes left in the class. I'm going to, what is the, oh, do I have resources? What's in resources? Nothing's in resources yet. Copy from my other sites. Well, I have taught a lot of sites. I've taught a lot of, is that it? There's more, there's more. Oh yeah, all right. Show 200 items. ITS128 Fall 20 class videos. Can I do this? Copy? Did it copy? No. No, wait a second. Oh shoot, so I know what I just did. Oh, paste. Oh, paste. Okay. Paste right here is what I want to paste. Ah, okay. Okay, I'm going to put right here, I'm going to change the name of this to edit details fall 2020 videos. Class videos. Save this. And when you go into fall 2020 class videos, you see all of the class videos, and you see that these are chapters, and these are chapters in our textbook. So I do saw here. So so you can always refer to them to that. All right, so it's 12:58. I will see you again tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. if you should happen to tune in. Otherwise, there'll be a video. And so while you're at it, make sure you go to whenisgood.richhalverson.com and fill this out. Check the days that you would be available for a for a class. And then next week when I do my schedule, or this weekend when I do my schedule for next week, I will try to make sure that I get everybody. If you want to come to class, you want to attend in person, you can, but I don't check attendance or anything. It's for you if you want to. And this way, I want to do it so if you have a question on a topic, anytime you can tune in that week and ask the question, it'll be relevant. Okay, so it's not like you're not going to be able to come to class for 4 periods and then you come to class and you have a question on something that is 2 weeks old. I'm not going to. So feel free to come to class and ask any question that's relevant to around the time that we're doing it. All right. So are there any questions? Okay, very good. So I will see you. I'll either see you or you'll see me in a video tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for watching.